This is HMS Illustrious. £1 billion worth of military muscle. Weighing in at 22,000 tonnes, she's home to nearly 1,000 sailors. Who are about to embark on a phenomenal mission halfway round the world, exercising this warship's might. It's the big day. Illustrious is getting loaded up for her 4-month deployment.
Hi, Gary!
2 years of planning has gone into this moment.
We've got about 300 boxes of potatoes, 30 boxes of apples, 30 boxes of oranges, pears, bananas. All this lot together, this costs about £25,000 worth of food.
Not to mention an arsenal packed with live bombs and ammo. They'll also be delivering trucks to the Maltese army. And coming on board, one Range Rover for the captain's trips ashore. Steve Chick's new on board, and Illustrious is the biggest ship he's ever been in charge of.
Obviously, there's an element of nervousness for anybody in taking command of a ship for the first time, getting to know the ship, getting to know how it handles, and getting to know the people that are within it.
And everyone's feeling a bit nervous, including 23-year-old Millie.
I've been to sea before only for a few weeks though, so I'm not sure what it's going to be like living on a ship for 4 months.
For the families left behind, it's never easy.
Son and daughter on board, they're twins and they were 19 yesterday.
Twin Michael, or Shiner as he's known, is a chef, and his sister Rachel's just landed herself a job as steward. It'll be her first time at sea.
I do get really homesick sometimes, but when we get back, Mum will make a fuss over us and it will make it all better. So I think we'll be going out together and stuff like that. On a night out, won't we?
Well, it depends what you're wearing, really.
My clothes aren't that bad.
But someone who won't be partying with Shiner anymore is his girlfriend.
I feel sick. It's like the first time he's ever gone away for so long.
Caitlin, yeah. Been with her about 7 months now. She's used to me going away.
It's the worst I've ever felt in my life, and I don't know how people do it.
Illustrious, or Lusty as she's known, is now bursting at the seams. So before they go, the captain's Range Rover has got to come off. Finally, they can put to sea.
The captain has a ship.
Captain has a ship.
Rookie crew member Matt Reddy doesn't know when he'll see England again.
Of course, we're always nervous about the unexpected and just not knowing really what's going to happen.
On this deployment, Illustrious could be diverted to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan at any time.
Leaving my girlfriend for the first time, so that was difficult, saying goodbye.
I'm going to miss him so much, but I'm so proud of what he's doing and I'm really excited for him.
But there is a plus side for some.
I only ever decorate when he's away, because then he can't argue.
The deployment to the Indian Ocean is codenamed Orion 08, and it takes them on a mission fraught with danger. Illustrious is an obvious terrorist target, and her first choke point is the Strait of Gibraltar.
With a magazine of 25 rounds, load.
Lusty's sailing with Merlin helicopters. They hunt out and destroy submarines. In Malta, Lusty gets a chance to show off the best of British.
Fall in on the aft end of the flight deck!
Then it's through the Suez Canal into some of the world's most hostile waters.
A challenge must be given by shouting, Navy, stop or I fire. Has anybody questions on that?
Here, they'll be joined by the awesome Harrier jump jets. They'll be training on board before heading for Afghanistan to help the fight against the Taliban. But before the deployment can get underway, they've got to prove they're battle ready. And until they do, they can't leave British waters. As they head out of Portsmouth, they're all getting used to being cooped up in the ship that's going to be their home for the next 4 months. On foredeck, Captain Chick gets his own quarters, which come with chef and steward.
He gets his breakfast, lunch and dinner and coffees throughout the day, really, whenever he feels like he needs one.
Right under the noisy flight deck, there's more modest accommodation for trainee officers like John Little, also known as Sid.
I've got a fairly nice cabin. It's a double cabin with just me in, so there's quite a lot of space in there. It's nice to bring a few extra bits and pieces on board so you can make your cabin a little bit more homely. I like to bring my own duvet and duvet covers and things, because the ones that are issued are fine, but just not quite as nice as your own.
Next door, new roommates Millie and Susie are getting to know each other.
When I first joined the Navy, I didn't know how to wear hair in a bun.
I did, because I'd gone to cadets, so I was like, hard.
Sorry.
I can't imagine you with short hair, actually.
Yeah, I was wrapped. She had a cabin to herself before I moved on. Whilst we knew each other, to say hello and what have you, we didn't know each other as well as I'm sure we will do soon.
And just above the waterline on 5 deck is where it gets even more cosy. When you join up as a junior rate like Jason Farnsworth, it's 40 to a cabin.
You got 6 on either side and like 3 up, which is quite a lot for a small bit of area. One of them's just having a kip at the moment, and young Jackman. Jacko, come here, you got a surprise.
HMS Illustrious, the nation's flagship aircraft carrier's just left Portsmouth, and her crew won't be home for another 4 months. But joining the Navy isn't just about seeing the world. For Sid Little, the fashion industry just didn't cut it.
I was working at a clothes shop, and it wasn't really what I was going to do for the rest of my life, so I thought I'd make a career choice and join the Navy pretty quickly after that.
Susie Williford's an ambitious Grade A trainee officer.
I realised that this was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an officer in the Navy. I wanted to drive ships. I wanted to be in command.
But 19-year-old Jason Farnsworth's reasons are a bit less ambitious.
Truthfully, why I joined the Navy, because I was just having a shit time of it back at home.
Lusty's older than most of her crew.
She's been refitted several times in her life, and so actually, you know, she's as capable, if not more capable, than she was when she first came into commission.
Lusty's vital statistics are impressive. She's 210 metres long. That's like 25 double-decker buses laid end to end. She's got 19 decks, 13 lifts, a bakery, and 5 galleys serving 2,500 meals a day. Driving the ship are 4 gas turbine engines. The same were used on Concorde, each giving 200 times more power than a family car. Helping keep Lusty in perfect working order are the marine engineers.
When we're ready, they need 1022 back as a matter of priority.
And their lieutenant commander is Helen Ashworth.
As a person, I think she is a very elegant but very classic old lady. She's got a lot of miles on the clock and she's been worked very, very hard, but she's the fleet flagship and she's out there doing the nation proud.
But like any old lady, Lusty has her ailments. And within hours of leaving port, the fridge is playing up. So, Captain Chick's got a dilemma: to continue and risk losing all the food, or face the embarrassment of heading home again.
We potentially would have written off the order of £50,000 worth of food in that freezer. I mean, it's a big freezer, able to feed 850 people for up to 4 months.
So after her grand exit, Lusty heads back, and the media have a field day.
Wave 105.
It's 10 o'clock. A faulty fridge has forced the aircraft carrier HMS Illustrious to return to Portsmouth. She only left 2 days ago for the Indian Ocean.
The problem was discovered with the industrial size unit during pre-deployment exercises between here and Plymouth.
Just 2 days after she left port, Lusty's back.
People just say goodbye to their families, thinking they're going away for 4 months. And to come back here and have to redo all that again, it's kind of easier for the captain to just say, no, leave. People don't have to make that decision.
In true Navy style, the crew form a chain to get all the food off and stored until the fridge is fixed. But down on 9 deck, Head of Marine Engineering, Peter Gilbert's investigating another nautical nightmare. This time it's in the engine room.
Where's the team working at the moment?
Hello, Jim.
Yeah. Good.
Flight engineer.
There's a problem, and Peter's got to get to the bottom of it.
See in the corner there, one of 4 of my high-pressure air compressors, which unfortunately needs some fairly serious maintenance.
High-pressure air compressors, or HPACs, help to start the engines. And they're also needed to supply air for breathing apparatus when fighting fires.
The machinery in here is about 26 years old, and although it gets regularly serviced, after a while they do fail. This one failed on me last night.
Remaining cool, Captain Chick tries to keep things in perspective.
The analogy is perhaps taking your car out of the garage after 6 months and finding the tyres are flat or the oil needs topping up. And that's what we've been going through at this early stage.
For ex-roofer Darren Marshall, his first trip to sea isn't what he was expecting.
When you sign up, you don't think about, you know, the crap bits. You think about all the good stuff that you're going to see. At the moment, it's a bit crap.
The engineers have finally fixed the fridge. But Peter's still got problems with the HPACs.
My ship staff have been working through the night to diagnose the fault on this, and the idea is, through today, we can rectify it and be ready to go back to sea tonight.
Peter's feeling the pressure. All eyes are on his team to sort this problem out before the end of the day. There are deadlines to be met on the deployment, and as it falls further behind schedule, Peter has the task of updating the captain.
Where are we?
So we will not be in a position to sail on 1900, but work is progressing, and at this stage I'd still like us to consider planning for the midnight option.
Okay.
The reason I say that is
It's not the news Captain Chick wanted to hear.
It's going to be a long night.
Let's hope it is.
Yeah, that is hope it is. Not allowed to swear on camera, am I?
Keeping the ship clean is an obsession, especially when Executive Officer Tim Johnston's around.
Scuppers and those. Other than that, they're fine.
He's the captain's right-hand man and does his dirty work.
They haven't been cleaned, and they need to be cleaned to be hygienic. Rounds are a daily event, usually in the evening on the ship, and it's checking security, watertight integrity, cleanliness, overheads, for hygiene reasons, and discipline morale.
He's a tough taskmaster.
But these are pretty skanking, actually.
And between the male and female mess decks, he believes there's a clear divide.
They do smell different and look different.
Men and women have to live in close confines in the modern Navy.
I suspect when women first went to sea, it must have been so strange for the men and the women to suddenly be sort of together.
There are 100 women on Illustrious.
It's human nature that relationships will happen on board because there's so many men and women. When you're actually on board, when you're at sea, you should keep that to yourself and you should act professionally.
And if you don't, there's trouble.
There is a strict no-touching rule on board in naval regulations, and I'm pleased to say that 99% of the time that's adhered to by the ship's company. Obviously, for the times it isn't, then that's a matter for the service police.
On 3 deck are the officers' cabins, where Steward Rachel's settling into a new job.
I have to hoover the cabins, take the laundry, clean the sinks, take any dirty glasses, dirty teacups, stuff like that away. Just generally make sure that their cabins are clean for them, free from dust. It's on the back table up there, if you don't mind, sir. We also work in the wardroom, on the tables, at meal times. There you go, sir.
Thank you very much, thank you.
They love their cheese, and they've got to be a lot of it, really. We do 3 cheese boards and special little things like to make the officers feel all special. It's lovely, but we're not allowed it.
Back down on 9 deck, the marine engineers have been working flat out to get the compressors fixed and Lusty back to sea. They've had a disastrous start, but it looks like they're winning at last.
The HPACs are all fixed, all 4 of them. The freezers are fixed. There's been a huge amount of work achieved, and the team have done an amazing job. A huge relief and a huge engineering feat.
5 days behind schedule, Illustrious has some catching up to do. She's heading for a naval exercise area off the coast of Plymouth, where she can finally start doing her job as a warship. Illustrious is bristling with military hardware. This close combat weapon is called a minigun, though it's anything but mini. As a trainee warfare officer, Millie's got to get to grips with it.
The fact that we're a warship is quite... I don't think it's scary, but I think it's more exciting.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you through the basics of the preps for firing for the minigun, all right? This thing's going to be on the upper deck most of the time in either the Indian Ocean or the Gulf. You get 3,000 rounds a minute, it's about 50 rounds a second. If anything's coming in towards a ship and you open up, it's not going to stand a chance, really.
Going to war would be scary, but I think I'd find it quite exciting.
Go on then, go for it. Keep it going. Keep it.
I think it's pretty simple to use. Turn it on, press the button.
And again. That's it, ammunition expended.
Gunner Ollie Stocker's got a bigger weapon to fire. He's learning to change the barrel of a 20mm anti-aircraft gun fast.
What was our best time?
1 minute 20.
1 minute 20. Which is good, but need to be faster.
Ollie signed up 18 months ago.
One main reason why I joined, getting to travel around and go to all these different countries and that. And there's nothing else for me to do really at home. That's to work in Asda or McDonald's or somewhere like that.
And there's a bonus. His old man's on board.
Oh, I love it, I love it. I could actually sue you. You can't sue me for this, mate. Bother telling Mum anyway. Fatherly love. If it was on a smaller ship like a 42, it probably would be more close for comfort, but as we're on a carrier, normal routine running of the day, I don't really get to see him much.
Oh, mate. That's when I've got to go home and tell my mum to sort him out.
The worst place to work on the ship is the rubbish dump, where Jason Farnsworth's just landed himself a 3-month stint with the Gash Party.
I just want to apologise for my family as well, if you see me. I'm only doing this for a day, stand-in for one of my mates.
He sees the Navy as a way to pursue his real passion.
I love playing football, and they did tell me when I joined up that I would be getting flown left, right and centre to play for the football team, so I kind of joined up for that.
I wouldn't mind if a few officers come down here. You know, they did 3 months on as well, but that ain't never going to happen.
Lusty's arrived at the naval training area as she enters a new phase. The crew now face an intense 2 weeks to prove they're ready for anything. Coming on board are the men who will decide, the Flag Officers Sea Training Team, or FOST, sent by the Admiral. Until the ship's company are primed for war, they're not allowed to leave UK waters.
When the inspection is over, we will report to the Commander-in-Chief that his ship, Illustrious, is ready to proceed with her programme.
Race on the bridge!
Everyone's got a role in defending the ship when it comes under attack.
Tretters at starboard 90, okay? That means it's exactly on our beam.
Jason gets off Gash duty to join the firefighting team.
Sort yourself out. No, up, up. Now you can let it clear just before you step away.
The FOSS team make it all as realistic as possible.
We physically switch off the engines, we stop the steering, we fill compartments with smoke. If the enemy doesn't tell you what he's going to do to you.
Millie's learning how to coordinate a damage control team.
Basically what we're doing, setting up here, because we can't get through yet because of the fire, setting up everything to go and deal with the flood as close as we can to that compartment.
And Rachel swaps looking after officers to caring for casualties.
Can you tell us your name?
The pressure's relentless.
Fire! Fire! Fire in 602!
The men from FOSS demand the highest standards.
Not at all happy, big fireball, we're going to chase you guys out.
Right, do you want to handle that?
No, I'm alright, I've got it.
And Lusty's crew have got to work hard to win the battle to allow this deployment to go ahead.
You've got to get it right. If you get it wrong, people get killed. You know, none of us want to have to write to someone's widow saying, sorry, we didn't train them properly.
But Ollie's having a bit of a mare. He's just broken his gun.
You've got the two big supports that come over and you get stuck in and it's just snapped clean off. It's not my fault, it's the wind. The wind blew it off. Seriously, Sally, there's my dad in there.
He's bust £125,000 worth of naval property. But luckily, he's got a shoulder to cry on.
Snapped it, cleaning off. The shoulder harness.
It's got to be a big 126 for you then, boy, isn't it?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, 126 means that he has to pay for it, so he'd be pretty gutted if he had to pay for a gun because it would cost him a fortune.
Today, the aircraft carrier goes to war. And Lusty's crew are prepared and raring to go.
Sleep well?
No, rubbish.
Well, sort of. A crack team of warfare experts are going to judge them on how they cope with the sea battle. If they impress, they'll deploy to the Indian Ocean. If they don't, they won't leave UK waters. The Flag Officer Sea Training Team, or FOST, arrive from Portsmouth.
If they don't pass, they have to stay here and be trained for long.
And Captain Chick prepares his troops.
It is important because clearly that is the final hurdle to allow us then to go south and get on with our programme.
Thursday War's been scripted by FOST, and they'll be coordinating other ships and aircraft to attack Illustrious.
Welcome to the Thursday War Brief. This is Ginger, the bad people surrounding the small country of Brownia. Peace talks have broken down and their naval and air forces have assumed a higher state of readiness.
So, the battle plans are drawn up.
Let's draw on what we've learnt this week and let's give it a damn good go.
The operations room is where they get the first inkling of any attack. It's also where Ollie's dad, Kevin, gathers intelligence.
This is the hub, the nerve centre, and this is where we'll fight the war from. The buzz I get out of it really is just being the known and being part of a team that sort of like works well.
Sid Little's part of the ops room team too. He's getting kitted up in his fireproof suit.
If there's any fires or flashes or anything, if we get hit by anything, we have anti-flash gear on, which protects us from flames and bits and pieces flying around. Then we go quite quickly when you're busy. Hopefully we'll get a good assessment at the end.
The only ones not wearing anti-flash gear are the examiners. They'll be scrutinising every action, every decision and every outcome of today's battle.
Training is very real, very realistic for those undertaking it. I mean, I know what's going to happen from minute to minute, but they do not know.
Up on deck, Ollie's broken gun's now fixed.
It was just old and the metal had just frayed. Called up another ship in the area and got a replacement part of them. They didn't have to charge me for it.
In a war zone, Illustrious sails with other ships, and today HMS Edinburgh and HMS Gloucester are part of her fleet.
First aircraft 066, 6 miles, second aircraft now 034, 14 miles, both aircraft.
In the ops room, Lusty's radars have picked up a fighter bomber attack, or FBA.
Red continues to close now inbound at starboard beam at 25 miles.
It's Ollie's big chance to prove himself on his 20mm gun. From the bridge, the plane's been spotted too.
Where's it going, left to right? Inbound, 1 mile. Brace!
The ship's company brace for a direct hit.
Brace, brace, brace!
Low, heading west. No threat going for the group ahead of us.
Stand to.
Back in the ops room, Sid's leadership skills are being observed.
Sir.
Yeah.
So I've got a problem. Up here, ASW Alpha. He's fine, he's on ASW Alpha. Mom's on ASW Alpha.
Lots of people trying to talk to you all at once, and you've got to try and work out who's more important. Maybe sometimes your boss isn't the most important one who's talking, which is sometimes difficult to get across.
But between attacks, there's some respite.
We don't believe the next air raid is due on top for about another 25 minutes. So to keep the guys going and keep them interested, we've been given some action snacks. So we get some nice chocolate bars and a bit of a drink. It does actually make people lift. You can imagine after 5, 6, 7 hours of no food after breakfast, you're going to start dipping a little bit. Also a bit of a morale booster, keeps everyone happy, and you do look forward to it. Action snacks, excuse me.
And nothing gets past the examiners from FOST.
And then, yeah, exactly. You can go, oh, right, I need all my maximum uses on that one.
Yep.
And that's the way to do it.
Even though Lust is at war, the crew still needs to be fed, and that's down to chefs like Shiner.
Right, Shiner, go open up the short door on the junior counter.
On the dispersal, so I'll be taking food out people that can't come down here to get strung. Smack it in.
He's off on a mercy mission for those who can't leave their action stations.
Yes, sir.
Oh, guess where we're going.
For those who can, they have to make it quick.
Tables are for arses, not glasses! No, they're not, no! Glasses, not arses, sorry!
The Navy calls this action messing, a meal for the entire crew, cooked, served and cleared up in less than 90 minutes. Shiner's twin Rachel's a happy customer.
We have to eat as quick as possible so we can go back to our action stations. It's good considering the chefs had like an hour to make it all, so good.
Let's rub it down the bottom, then more eating! Happy, you're in. Looking good.
Last time we did this, though, we had an air threat warning halfway through, so half the guys didn't get fed. So quite lucky to be going first today.
An FBA attack now coming from the starboard side.
Lusty's again under attack.
Starboard lookout, 2, inbound Illustrious!
Brace in the ops room. Aircraft overhead.
The ship's taken a hit. Now they have to find out where the damage is.
Snow 2, carry out, break your search.
Flood in 8, Lima!
The flood's in the stores room where Millie's on damage control.
Take this message up, then we have done initial leak stopping on both splits. Okay, on one split now we have first aid leak stopping. Yep.
About 150 millimetres low.
Happy with that?
Laid foam.
They've got to show they're capable of stopping the ship from sinking. It's time to make life more difficult for Lusty.
The rudders are not functioning, so we can't steer ourselves in the water.
We pull ships in 2 different directions to see how they react by giving them conflicting requirements.
FOST is now throwing everything at them. On top of dealing with a sinking ship with no steering, they've also got casualties.
Head injury
and burns to his hands.
They've turned the officers' dining room into a first aid post.
We've got a wet blanket here, so if we take another hit, we'll cover you up with that.
Director visual, hold our one small fast moving contact. Continuing close.
The crew have been pushed to their limit.
Brace the option! Brace!
And the FOST team have made their decision. By the end of the day, Millie's team think they've done well.
You all did a cracking job down there today, right? You all turned up with the right gear, the right attitude, and if there was an incident down there, we would have won it quite easily.
Time for the verdict. The crew's feeling nervous. Deployment could be minutes away. And it's the moment they've been working for.
The morning's performance I felt was flat and uninspiring. There is absolutely no point in having a whole pile of trained chimpanzees passing information around without doing a little bit to add value. Please add value.
Not good enough, ladies and gentlemen.
Illustrious has failed. They've lost the war, and it's a huge blow.
Yeah, it's not nice because everyone works really hard and then kind of get shot down a bit.
But Executive Officer Tim Johnston's an eternal optimist.
Well, what a great day. Early start into a training war, into Portland tomorrow. Portland's about maintenance. Maintenance for kit, maintenance for people. Night leave will be granted. Get some good sleep, get some rest, and next week we can hit the ground running.
The results, perhaps weren't as good as one would like. What it did do was identify inexperience and some shortfalls that we have to address and tackle the same examination next week.
The ship's company's getting 48 hours alongside in Portland, but the gruelling schedule's taken its toll.
You get to the point where you're so tired and your body physically hurts all over and all you want to do is sleep.
Like 20-hour days and you're just shattered, aren't you? Because your body can only do so much and you're knackered, you're only getting 5 hours kip a night.
But there's no rest for Jason, because he's got to sort out the rubbish for ditching at pool.
He's found a vibrator. We've had some dirty underwear come through, which is always nice when it's early in the morning.
Never see any men's dirty underwear.
Oh, look at this.
Some new shoes.
New shoes.
After 3 weeks at sea, Lusty gets scrubbed up. And Jason finally gets to put out the rubbish.
Yes, I love ditching rubbish. Highlight of life. Right, lads, another 10 skips, you're nearly done.
You get to appreciate when you've been on board for quite a long time that, when you're working so hard, when we do get into a place, it is time for having a good time.
But one person is staying sober tonight, because someone's got to mind the ship and make sure no one goes too wild, and that's Lieutenant Chris O'Reilly.
So they're going to go ashore and do a bit of socialising, and it's our role here, really, to get them ashore safely and get them back safely.
For Kevin Ollie, shore leave is a chance for a family reunion. But going for dinner with his mum and sister isn't Ollie's idea of a great night out.
I'm not coming with you lot. I'm going with other lads.
Hey! You're not coming out for dinner?
Nah.
Jason's out of his dustman's jacket.
Stuff out for a quick drink, just a few social ones and a nice meal. That's it.
Because we've been working so hard, it's just been like, and we just a chance to go out and drink something other than Foster's. No touching rule doesn't apply, so it's just, yay. A bit of dancing, a bit of insubordination.
Yes, this is Rachel in civvies.
It's weird when you go out ashore in the pub and like 3/4 of people in there. They buy you drinks, you buy them drinks. It's a laugh, really.
How many pints I've had because I can't really remember. 11. I'm not too sure. 12.
For the officer of the day, it's a long night.
If they're really wobbly, then my concern is safety, because coming up that gangway, they're crossing over water. Usually that's enough when they see my smiling face at the top of the gangway. They pull themselves up and they start suddenly trying to walk in a straight line. How are you? Okay, no tricks. They're good boys and girls. Right, young man. Who are you then? You don't have a name? Can you tell me your name? HMS. Say again? HMS. Sure of it? It's a little bit closer. Walking at the moment. Looks If I'm concerned, I'll put them to one side and say, just hang on there a minute while I deal with something I've made up. I'm giving away all my secrets here. You know, and then I'll sort of have a look at them again in a couple of minutes. I've been watching them out the corner of my eye throughout this time anyway. And if I think they're good to go, then, you know, I'll get somebody to make sure they get back to their mess on time and fine. We're not going to get too upset about the fact that they've had, you know, a few drinks. It's only when they cause a bit of mischief, that sort of thing. Take them down the mess and we'll put them to one side. Part of it's medical to make sure that nothing drastic happens. So the service police will interview them, and provided there's been no other incidents related to that, they'll probably get a few words of caution to say, look, you know, come on, think about it next time, don't have quite so much to drink, and move on from there.
One of the last crew members to make it back is an inebriated Ollie.
It's been a good night. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night as well. Should be even better tomorrow night because we start even earlier.
But deep in the bowels of the ship, a new problem's brewing, which sees tomorrow's shore leave cancelled.
He'd been at sea for a bit, so yeah, he was looking forward to have a couple of drinks, and I think he overdid it.
I don't.
No comment. No comment. You want to see the scar as well? Look, this is his good scar as well. You got one. That's where he fell on the curb.
That's why I tried to kiss someone.
Hangover food's the order of the day, because everyone needs to do their bit to get Lusty shipshape and back out to sea. On the quarterdeck, duties for the day are dished out.
But what you stand at is... Morning. Who's got hangover then? Yeah. I have. Right, this morning and today I want a full day's work out of you. Okay? Yes, I do want a full day's work out of you. Right, there's plenty to do. Keep it down. Pass ship. Ho! Turning for dismiss.
But down on 9 deck, the marine engineers have discovered another major headache. Helen Ashworth is giving Tim Johnston the lowdown on the latest crisis to hit Lusty.
Port shaft, this is what we've got. You can see an area that I've already marked out where something has marked the shaft.
Each engine is connected to a 70-metre shaft on both port and starboard. The shafts spin huge propellers, powering Lusty through the water. It looks like the port shaft has dropped and is rubbing on a bracket.
Any defect at all on the shaft line could be critical. My recommendation to the captain at the moment is we do not sail until we've had chance to do an investigation. First of all, I feel absolutely gutted that another defect has come along. Now, on the other hand, I think we're very lucky to have found it, because if that bracket hadn't been underneath the shaft, I wouldn't have seen the scoring, and therefore I could have had a catastrophic failure of the bearings, and ultimately this whole area we're standing in could be underwater right now.
Helen sends a naval diver down to check the propeller to see if that's causing the problem. Before long, the whole ship's buzzing with rumours.
I heard is that we're being towed back to Portsmouth because both the engines are completely gone.
Even HMS Ark Royal's name is being mentioned.
We're going to have to go back to Portsmouth into the dry dock for 2.5 months. And the Ark's going instead of us, it's taking our place.
And the second rumour was nothing's wrong with the engines, we're going to Malta.
I've heard they're getting a trailer down. They're going to put us on a trailer and drive us to Rosyth, and we're staying in sea watches. That's what I've heard, mate, Jen. You heard it here first.
Lots of rumours have reached me. Sadly, many of them are started by my own people because that's what they do for fun. Anything at all happens, and the first thing you'll normally hear is that we're going to dry dock in South Africa or we're going to an exercise in America. They will come out with stories and see how many people believe it.
The divers find nothing wrong with the propellers, so Captain Chick's advised to put Lusty back out to sea.
We'll give the shaft a bit of a turn before we move off the berth.
Awesome.
Okay. So if we turn them, and then we'll come to stop, and then if you let me know or get a positive report back from the spaces that there's not an issue, then we'll pull ourselves off the berth and go.
The engines are started, and at low revs, the dodgy shaft is looking good.
Slow ahead, port.
So, as the sun sets, Lusty sails out of Portland.
Once we get rid of that tug, we'll just give ourselves a kick and then go for the cap. Yes.
Steer 031.
Helen monitors how the shaft's doing from the control room.
Twin engine drive, both telegraphs half ahead, revolutions 5-4.
The captain increases speed as Lusty hits open water.
On a break, mate. Stop. Port shaft. Port shaft stationary.
Unfortunately, what we observed was some very loud screeching noises and some knocking noises. Right, senior watchkeeper on the bridge, make comms with down here, be my link with the captain. We then called what's called a machinery breakdown, and that is a way of letting the bridge know that we have got a significant issue with the machinery down below.
The captain decides to drop anchor and get more expert advice, leaving Lusty once more at a standstill. Next time on Warship, Helen's under the cosh.
Of course I feel anxious. That's my machinery. Okay, it's my people.
The crew vows to get the better of Fost.
If we don't pass this, we don't deploy. But we will pass this and we will deploy.
Lusty faces her first real danger.
Kevlar jacket, just to protect main organs really if I get shot.
And what they've all been waiting for, getting their kit off before the big boys arrive. Lusty's leaving Malta and 3 days shore leave behind. And while the captain calls the shots from the bridge, the buffer coordinates the operation on the lower decks. But how do you get a 20,000-ton aircraft carrier through such a narrow port? It's easy. Just give it a little tug.
We have to be very careful with foreign tugs. Although these are very, very experienced tug drivers, you just have to pay that little bit more attention to them. Because if we start to pull them rather than pulling us, it could be quite catastrophic for the tug. It's nice to see so many people turned out. Looking up at the castle buildings, there seems to be hundreds of people there just to wave us off, which is fantastic. What a brilliant run ashore we've had.
These stopovers are a perk of the job for a crew that often spends months at sea.
Why did I join the Navy? The age-old question.
You get to travel the world, you're getting paid for it. Good weather.
Being on a ship, you do travel around to a lot of places, get to see a lot of foreign ports.
But life on board a warship's no holiday, especially for the new recruits. Every day for the last 5 weeks has been an eye-opening experience for people like 27-year-old ex-roofer Darren Marshall.
You've got a massive 20,000-ton ship, and I'm steering it. So the first time I was doing it, I was quite nervous. It's a lot different from being a roofer.
And down in the ops room, fellow newbie Steve Dean's also learning fast.
It was a bit daunting at first when I got on, and getting used to how everything run and what procedures are in place and everything. The bad point about being on a ship is being away from your family and friends. But if you can get a grip on that, you're all right.
It's a massive learning curve. Straight away, they were thrown in at the deep end, and they probably would have thought, what the hell's going on? And they were a bit shell-shocked.
A few of us being seasick, but especially you. Yeah, especially me. But getting used to it now.
Darren and Dino are part of 5 Delta Mess down on 5 deck. It's one of 33 messes on board, each home to up to 25 crew, sharing a bedroom, bathroom and living room.
Yeah, just give it a fresh water mop down, mate.
Each mess is given a sea daddy to look after its new boys. So, how did Mo Morrison land this job?
Wrong place, wrong time. Any leading hand of a mess, they'll tell you that's probably the worst job, because not only have you got your job throughout the day, you've got to look after them as well.
And, as any daddy will tell you, just keeping the house clean is a constant battle.
Got to make sure the mess is tidy, basically, ready for rounds, because it's me that gets it in the neck if it isn't tidy or clean. This is a good example of seat cover changing. Well, not that good example.
With 25 sweaty sailors sitting on them, it's a necessary fortnightly chore. But not what 18-year-old Taff Edwards had in mind when he joined the Navy.
This is what it's all about, see?
All the soap scum on the sinks and taps have been scrubbed off. You know, like all the toothpaste and soap scum. All the pubes are out of the scuppers down there. That's usually a good pube haven down there. And the ginger ones are Taffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, done a good job, though. Yeah, some of them, I'll be sad to see them go, you know. They're good lads. And, you know, you can tell good lads, they just get on with it without any problem whatsoever. And, you know, some of them, you know, see you later, not bothered.
Illustrious and her crew are travelling through the Mediterranean. But in 4 days' time, they'll have to navigate the narrow 101-mile Suez Canal, and the ship's company will have to be ready for any potential terrorist attack.
Readiness increases. We become much more focused and continue training so that when we hit the canal, we're fully ready and prepared to do what we may need to do.
Hero.
But Captain Chick has got a more immediate problem.
He's one of your lads, isn't he?
One of the crew has gone missing.
Last seen last night.
Worst case scenario, they might have gone over the side at some point in the night. So what we then do is invoke Operation Thimble Hunt.
This is an exercise we go through if someone can't be found on board and we think they might be missing.
All depots, all deck codes, water answer room in 2 minutes' time.
For a man overboard in these waters, the chance of survival is slim, so the ship immediately swings into action.
The messes, they're mustered by mess, and that way we check that everyone's available.
Logs department fully closed up, all present.
Only Junior WHMS, all mustered and correct.
Executive Warrant Officer Russell Billings is the linchpin of this operation, receiving and broadcasting details of the search.
You hear there, this is the EWO. All personnel, with the exception of AB Southworth, have been accounted for. Therefore, commence phase 2, commence phase 2. Each department has an area of the ship they've got to search. All the little areas, cubby holes throughout the ship.
Do we know when the last time he was sighted?
19:30 last night, sir. Now, they've reported that their areas have been cleaned, but no one's actually visually sighted them doing that. On a ship this size, phase 2 could take up to 2 or 3, maybe 4 hours. And then we're running out of options, really.
As the ship prepares to turn around, the crew make a last, desperate search for able seaman Southworth.
Ewo. You found him? Where was he? Right, can you get him to the reg office? Escort him to the reg office, please. Thank you. Found.
Where?
In the senior, behind one of the senior 8's bulkheads with his head down. Really? Yeah, this is Ewo. Operation Thimble Hunt is now complete.
Why he was where he was, we can deal with that. But the main thing is well and safe. That's good.
Investigating the circumstances of Southworth Siesta will be Master-at-Arms Dave Harris.
Given we just had a couple of nights in Malta, there's a few tired people about, so it's not entirely unexpected. It's unfortunate if that's the case. Caused, as you've seen, from the captain down, 45 minutes worth of inconvenience to everybody on board. We take a pretty dim view of that. If there's no reason for it, yeah, it'll be subjected to the disciplinary process, which is where I'll step in. Come on in. Excuse me.
Sleepy Southworth may be in for a rude awakening. Life on Lusty has a daily routine like any other. And for steward Rachel Wright, the first job every morning's collecting the officers' dirty washing.
It's just part of our job. They bag it all up and shit it for us and then leave it out and we pick it up and take it for them. It's just one less thing for them to do, I suppose.
Lusty's got her own Chinese laundry, handling up to 400 loads a day.
The laundry's run by Jackie and 3 other guys. They're really nice. They just basically spend all their day washing our clothes and pressing them dead quick for us.
Keeping 1,000 crew in clean clothes and bedding is a never-ending task. The machines go on at 7 every day and run till 9 at night. But for Jackie Lau, it's a labour of love.
I enjoy, yeah, I really enjoy. Yeah, I'm working over 10 years.
They spend even more time away from their families than the rest of the ship's company do.
Sometimes we go home 2 times 1 year. Christmas, sometimes summer leave, so 2 times, yeah.
Jackie's elite squad of fearless laundrymen need to wash, dry, press and dispatch every item on a 24-hour turnaround.
This is 30 laundry. This is 1 bundle. Today we finish about 300 about.
To keep tabs on this mountain of clothes is a military operation in itself. So, Jackie needs good men at the front line. And who better than ex-Gurkha, Dob?
I joined Gorkhas in 1982 and served 15 years and retired in 1997 and got this job. In army, actually we have a good discipline, obviously. In laundry as well, we have 4 or 5 people working here. In military way, short cotton, yes, it's clean. 1 towel, yes, and another black trouser, yes, and 2 number 4 trouser, yes, correct. We work in the morning, like 6:30, and when busy, we cannot think about anything. Just work, finish work. Laundry number as well, correct. So I put here and roll it over like this. I'm proud of this my job and working sub with the Navy. Tidy up, you're looking nice, so you will be happy about it with the clean laundry.
As the main deck's a runway, most of the crew rarely see daylight. So today, Sea Daddy Mo's got a treat for a handful of raw recruits.
We're doing a course because we've got to go through the Suez, and we have to protect ourselves, so all the upper deck weapons crews have to be manned. And at the moment, we haven't got enough, you see, so we've got to get a load of people qualified.
For the Opterum newbie, Dino, it's all come as a bit of a surprise.
To be honest with you, I didn't realise I'd be training on weapons. I just thought I'd be in the Opterum most of the time. But apparently it's all part and parcel of it.
We're just doing the training on the minigun. It's force protection weapons for small, fast craft, basically jet skis, like armed with RPGs.
These rookies have never had their hands on live ammunition before.
So when you know your head, don't crack yourself, right?
So the flare goes up as a practice target.
It's an experience because it is quite scary when you first pull the trigger, but once you get into it, it's good fun.
Having power in your hands is quite good, you know.
gives the lads a break from the normality of everyday life in the Navy, where it is just clean and making sure everywhere is squared away correctly. So it's the first time they've actually fired the GPMG and the minigun. They've actually done pretty well.
But will they hold their nerve when in 2 days' time Lusty hits the Suez Canal and they have to man their guns for real? The crew's still breathing a sigh of relief after the earlier man overboard scare, but all that's about to change.
So we'll just pick Fred up, throw him over the side and watch for the ship's reactions.
It doesn't sound like much fun for Fred, but don't worry, he's done this before.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Man overboard, man overboard, man overboard, man overboard, starboard side. When there's a cold sea, you only get a couple of minutes due to hypothermia. And anything below sort of 16-degree temperatures, every second counts, basically.
Runway bridge, C7 temperature, 15 degrees.
Start your engine.
Start your engine.
OK, sit down there.
It's a nervous moment for the rookie coxswain.
Stop runway bridge, you have a green for the bridge, carry on the starboard sea.
Roger, off steady lines.
Down.
By then, lower. Visual.
He may be a bit apprehensive, yeah. But with the leading hand sat on his shoulder, it'll prompt him if he does forget anything during the drills.
Come to the boat, lower.
We've all got to start somewhere, haven't we?
As they hit the water, the seaboat's engine is already turning.
OK, bounce it in. OK, that's well done.
5 minutes after Fred fell overboard, the team's on their way to rescue him.
He'll make his approach onto the man overboard, doing that in a safe manner, obviously trying not to run the man overboard over at the same time. I'm just watching his drills at the moment to make sure he's doing it safely. As soon as he's got the man inboard, we'll make all preparations to recover the man and the boat as quickly as possible. At the moment, they're just bringing the casualty into the boat. They'll administer first aid. They'll find out what the initial symptoms of the casualty are, whether he's suffering from cold shock, whether he has any physical injuries.
Casualty is unconscious and breathing.
What we have here is a boat will initially go onto a boat rope, which is down on the bow of the boat, and this holds the boat into position underneath the crane. First aider is not even holding on. Hold on! Coxswain, cut your engine. Down it. Steady. Up on that line, it's the only steadying line there is.
14 minutes after he fell into the sea, and Fred's back on board, safe and sound.
Well done. Straight into the hangar, please.
And for the new coxswain, it's a job well done.
It's flat calm. You wait till you do it in rough weather.
This is 814 Squadron, the Flying Tigers.
Flying, I guess, is inherently dangerous. Everyone's life in that aircraft is in your hands.
It is glamorous and a good fun job, but the reality is it does hold its dangerous moments as well.
As the ship's first line of defence, the Tigers need to be ready for anything. And it's no easy job. Just ask one of their pilots, Stacks, who's still hitting the books.
Cramming in as much extra revision as I can now, in and around the flying, so we've got quite a busy flying programme on at the minute. When we get this qualification, it means that we can actually be the commander of the aircraft and in charge. It's quite a lot of stuff to take in, quite a lot of stuff to remember.
Illustrious is home to 6 Merlin helicopters, the biggest in the Royal Navy's arsenal.
It's just over 22 metres long and it weighs nearly 15 tonnes.
The Royal Navy Merlin is designed for anti-submarine warfare with state-of-the-art radar and sonar systems, and able to carry either 4 homing torpedoes or depth charges. It's also equipped for surface combat with a general purpose machine gun, or GPMG.
We can operate out to around about 200 miles
on a single sortie without refuelling. However, if we do need to extend that range, we can refuel alongside a majority of ships, and that's just done by hovering alongside the ship and winching up the fuel hose to the side of the aircraft and taking fuel from there.
But keeping this complex piece of kit in the air takes teamwork.
The Merlin's designed to be flown by a three-man crew. One pilot will fly the aircraft, one air crewman who'll take care of all the winching, man the GPMG, and also one observer who'll take care of the navigation and the tactical side of the sortie.
And back on board, there's an army of engineers working around the clock to make sure the Merlin's ready to fly at a moment's notice.
We work the routine required for the flying hours, but the engineers generally do an 8-hour about day, so it's quite a tough routine for them.
Pilot Jack Ryan's one of the more experienced members of the 814 squadron.
I have operated the Merlin in operations from both ships and land base, whether that be chasing drag traffickers in the Caribbean or whether it's engaging pirates off the Somali coast. There's countless different opportunities where it could be used.
Today, Jack and his crew are being sent on a reconnaissance mission to make sure Illustrious has safe passage in the waters ahead.
We're trying to build up a picture ahead of the task group so we can identify whether they're merchant vessels, contacts of interest or military vessels.
And it isn't long before they spot a possible candidate.
Can we slow down a little bit for this one? Yeah, not too much, because we've got quite a bit of a way to go back into wind. I'll just slow down to 100 knots. Okay, all four of those large cranes, they are all four cranes on the superstructure, just at different angles. It's not the one we're looking for, is it? No, it is a large crane carrier or something like that.
Dismissing the first ship as no possible threat, the crew head for the next target on their radar.
You ready with the temperate, Lofty? No, somebody's going to be on the dock. Which way are you going, mate? I'm just going to literally cross over at stern, then come back so Lofty can get a couple of knots of it, and then I'll run down the right-hand side of it, happy? Okay. Okay, Lofty. Ship's passing from my 12 o'clock, I'm coming up its wake. Okay, the ship is now in my 1 o'clock, 100 yards, coming down the starboard side. Just good. I'm just going to try and get some on the back end of the ship. Get his name as well. Yeah. Can you take a photo of what they've got on the quarterdeck at the back?
As well as identifying the vessel, they've got to record anything suspicious so it can be analysed back on board Illustrious.
Oh, now we're just tracking the ship, keeping an eye on it, using the radar while we return back to the tail of the vessel.
If you get a nice clear image that is then useful to the intelligence communities, then on the face of it, that is the successful exercise.
That's the one. Well, there's quite a few ships.
Unlike the rest of Lusty's crew, the Tigers have only one job on board.
Because we try to have the ethos in the fleet arm of working hard and playing hard, then obviously we're quite often seen in the bar.
They all come on in their green overalls and fly around. We actually call them wafoos for wet and effing useless.
And another thing that sets them apart from the rest of the crew is their bizarre taste in soft furnishings.
We went to India, and whilst we were there, we got some tiger curtains made up which adorn our cabins.
In fact, one member of the squadron has taken the fetish for all things tiger a bit too far.
Tiger Man is our mascot, so he's very important to us as a squadron.
The legendary Tiger Man has been around as long as anyone can remember and can pop up anywhere at any time.
When I was on 814, Tiger Man was there. He seems to have got a new coat now, which is not a bad thing. He hasn't aged at all, which is remarkable.
Nobody knows who he is, nobody knows where he lives.
8-7 Southworth.
It's Judgment Day for Sleepy Southworth.
Off the cap.
You have the right to elect to be tried by court-martial if you so desire. Alternatively, you can be tried summarily by me. Do you wish to elect for trial by court-martial?
No, sir.
I shall try this case myself. If I find you guilty, I may punish you myself or pass you on for punishment, depending on your record.
Southworth's disappearance sparked a full-scale man-overboard alert involving the entire ship's crew. He was caught kipping in a locker.
I was just sat in there like I fell asleep.
And do you plead guilty or not guilty to the charge?
Guilty, sir.
Master Arms is effectively the ship's policeman, so he presents the case as in the prosecution.
Jackson was searching in the vicinity of 6 Romeo Heads when he was called over by Petty Officer Drake, who said that he had found Sir Forth asleep in the cleaning gear locker, and he shook him. On being shook, he states that the accused said, quote, "Oh fuck, I'm late." He then saw Sir Forth climb out of the void space, and he stood there while it was explained to him that the entire ship was looking for him. According to Jackson, it was obvious from his demeanour that he had just woken up. Sir Forth was interviewed under caution on the 8th of March 2008 by myself. During the interview, he maintained that he wasn't missing during the forenoon at all, only that he had been working between the showers and the mess, and each time Jackson had gone to find him, according to him, he had been moving between the two, and that's why he couldn't be located. That is the facts of the case.
Gio, what have you got to say about this man?
Amy Southworth has been on board approximately 1 year, during which he has established himself as a hard worker, particularly on pride of ship, and he completed his warfare task book ahead of schedule. He has told me that he is sorry for the disruption he caused, particularly during the thimble hunt, and also to others who are affected by these events. So he's now changed jobs back to forecastle and ops room, and where he'll be working in a watch again, therefore his difficulty in waking up should no longer be an issue.
Rest assured it won't be.
The 1st of March, you caused this ship an awful lot of angst. I've seen the compartment. You could only have deliberately gone in there to get your head down, young man, and that's not good enough. A day worker, you should have plenty of sleep. We were that close to having to turn the ship round. Can you imagine the impact on this deployment? Because we care about you. Now you need to look in the mirror, young man, and decide what you care about. Get a bit of pride in this ship. Back. Is it there?
Yes, sir.
Well, start showing it. I don't want to see you again. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. 7 days, 9s.
I gave him 7 days, number 9s. So essentially the next port visit we've got, he won't be going ashore. And that might make him realise next time he should do his job properly.
On, Cap.
Sort your life out, young man.
Yes, sir. Left turn, left wheel, quick march, wait outside my office. Get your tapes up.
Yeah, thank you. Right, turn. I'm sure he's a good guy.
Yeah.
All right, he just needs a little shake. Yeah. He's got one. All right. Thanks. Enjoy that?
Sir.
You don't know that side of it, do you?
No, sir, no.
Good answer. Thanks, Master.
Sir.
Thanks, leading right.
Commander Johnston may wield power over the crew, but there's one person on board who answers to a higher authority.
I'm Father David Yates. I'm the ship's chaplain.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Is that loud enough? I can't hear it at all. Mind you, we've got a helicopter burning and turning.
The chaplain, or the Bish as he's better known, isn't just there for the religious members of the crew.
Yeah.
There's two distinct strands to my job. On the sort of the public side of things, I take church services.
We begin our service this morning with our first hymn, He Who Would Valiant Be.
And then on the more private and confidential side of things, I'm also available for anyone on the ship who's having problems to identify ways of solving, you know, the said problem.
The way that we do the Sunday morning with the service and the refreshments afterwards, it does make a nice bracket, a step change in the routine from the rest of the week. Gives those that wish to a chance to pause and think their thoughts.
Most of the time I thoroughly enjoy it, but every now and then something comes up and at the front of my mind I'm talking to the person, in the back of my mind I'm thinking to myself, gosh, what do I say to this one? The analogy I sometimes use is it's a bit like watching a swan. You know, it's gliding along the water quite confidently, but underneath its legs are paddling like mad.
Hello.
Navy chaplains don't have military rank, therefore we take the rank of the person we're talking to, which I always mean as, you know, I just treat everybody with respect and treat everyone as an equal.
How are you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Hello.
If I was finding it hard to upset, I'll actually go to chaplain. I'll go and speak to the Bish, which I've done quite a few times so far.
We're a safety valve in the engine, if you like, because people can come and let off steam to us before it becomes a big problem.
But in the ship's chapel down on 7 deck, finding a quiet moment for reflection can be difficult.
If you happen to look behind me at the raised area behind me,
It's where part of the drive shaft of the ship runs through. So the noise we're hearing is actually the shaft turning and the propellers moving on under the water. We have learnt to tune it out, but if the ship's going particularly fast, it does get very noisy down here. I believe very strongly in the democratic freedom that we enjoy within our country. How's it going?
Yep, not too bad.
Not too bad. And I also believe that if we value that freedom, we should be prepared to make a stand in defence of that freedom. Now, as a priest, I'm not allowed to take up arms, but it is my place and my role to help and support those that do.
Been quite quiet.
Right.
Good.
Well, quiet's good.
Yeah.
No problems with that.
No.
When you guys get busy, the rest of us get worried. Once I'm in the Navy, I can't then say, oh, well, I'll do the mess dinners, but I won't do the wars, thank you very much. It doesn't work like that. You know, the choice was to join. Once I've joined, I go where I'm sent. And, you know, I don't have any moral problem with that.
And it's lucky the Bish takes that view, because Lust is heading into dangerous waters. For 5 weeks, the crew have trained and drilled, but now they're preparing to defend themselves for real, because in 10 hours' time, they hit the Suez Canal. Located in a volatile region, much of this 100-mile waterway is too narrow for Lusty to turn in, making her a sitting duck if she comes under attack. The fleet regroup, ready for the challenge ahead. Amongst their company is the USS Cole, a previous terrorist target. In October 2000, the Cole was attacked by Al-Qaeda suicide bombers who blew a hole in her hull, killing 17 of her crew.
Okay, guys, listen in. Dress forward.
Those on sentry duty are kitted out in desert camouflage and given a no-nonsense talk on the rules of engagement.
In all situations, you are to use no more force than absolutely necessary. Right, so if someone's blatting at you, right, on automatic, doesn't mean you switch to automatic. It means you engage with single shots. Remember, you've got to justify every single shot that you fire. If you kill someone, you will have to justify that in a court of law. If you've got it wrong, you will go to prison.
On the outer deck, it's Ned Turbitt's job to check and arm the mounted defences.
All the upper deck weapons, all the 4 miniguns, GPMGs and the forward goalkeeper are all going to be loaded, ready to go, just in case anybody decides to attack us. With all this amount of manpower on the upper deck of the weapons that we're going to have, nothing's going to get past us.
1 Delta Oscar, 4 Echo Power.
Relaying information between the ops room, bridge and the sentries will be crucial, and is the job of Warfare Officer Phil Dennis.
There are terrorist organisations within Egypt itself. Sinking us in the canal would be a big hit for them. A lot of those organisations are Islamist as well, so they see us as part of a coalition with the Americans and the other nations in the Gulf, which is working in Iraq and Afghanistan. So they could see us as a target for those sort of reasons as well.
A challenge must be given before opening fire. You're to challenge by shouting, Navy, stop or I fire, in English. Right, they may not understand what you're saying, but the forcefulness of you saying it, right, will mean they'll probably get the general idea when you're pointing a rifle at them.
The rate this fires at, 3,000 rounds a minute, so you've got 60 seconds worth of firing in there. It doesn't sound a lot, but all you would really need is about 3 or 4 seconds worth, and that would be enough to take out any target.
Right.
Many of these young sailors will be standing sentry for the first time, including Dino and Taff from 5 Delta Mess, still under the watchful eye of Sea Daddy and gunner Mug.
You're looking out for small crafts, people on a jetty, RPGs, that type of thing. However, if you see anything that you think might be of that description, give someone a call first, right? If someone's shooting at you and you can see muzzle flashes coming towards you, you can shoot back. Okay, when you're out there, make sure you're vigilant, because the time you're not being vigilant is when the guy's going to come in on his craft and blow himself up on the side of the ship.
There's a lot of young lads on board. Probably it's going to be a big wake-up call for them.
It is exciting. Looking forward to a good experience will be to see what's going on out there and just hopefully not get shot at. This is what we signed up for. This is, we're ready for it. So see it as it comes.
Yeah, there, Commander speaking. Good evening, Illustrious. Just want to discuss the next 36 hours as we transit the Suez Canal. Lebanon remains quite tense, and what you've got to bear in mind as we transit the Suez is a real threat out there. There won't be any exercise scenarios. If the alarm's sounded, it's for real, be it fire, flood, or even worse. If there's any incidents, deal with them quickly and efficiently, but above all, be safe. Let's get through the canal safely over the next 36 hours, into the Red Sea, and continue with the deployment. That is all.
6 GPMG aimers here, 4 minigun aimers here, and 2 riflemen. Rest. Please stand down that end. Yes, please.
Lusty's entering the canal in the dead of night. As Taff and the other new recruits assemble on the deck, the gravity of their situation begins to dawn on them.
It seems a lot different. It seems more real now. It seems as if you're actually doing it now, yeah.
The main threat will probably be someone on the shore firing at us. Especially, someone popping up and firing an RPG towards the ship would probably be the worst thing we could see.
Pilot transfer complete, pilot vessel cleared to starboard. Combat 198.
Yeah, steer 198.
Just going through the initial part of the Suez Canal transit, and each ship gets a local pilot on board who gives his advice. The pilots are extremely experienced, so we take their advice, but we retain control of the ship, obviously.
Quality. Living the dream.
This is real now, this isn't forced anymore, so they're a bit more wary of what's going on. There's a little bit of sense of anticipation, yeah. Ever since September the 11th, and the terrorist threat's gone up, it's always like this now. I remember the first time I went through here, no one was close up. We were sunbathing on the flight deck and playing flight deck volleyball on the way through. But not anymore, it's all hands to the pumps everywhere now. I've only gone Roger.
Lusty's made it through the night, and though vigilance is still required, with sunrise and clear visibility, the threat against her is greatly reduced.
Half minigun bridge, expecting the pilot boat round the corner next 5-10 minutes time.
It's only now the new recruits can take in their unique surroundings.
Mental, innit? See that serve, yeah? Every red flag. Every red flag is a squaddy. He's been there all night. I think we get sent off. Look at him stood there.
The Egyptian government in Egypt, the country, owns a huge amount of foreign revenue from ships using the Suez Canal. I think annually it's about $2 billion. So it's a big input for their economy. So they're very keen, of course, that one, the canal stays open, and secondly, that there are no incidents for any ships going through.
But until they clear the canal, the sentries are still the only crew allowed up top. Below decks, cabin fever's taken hold, and the cooped-up crew are challenging Lusty to a race.
We're rowing the same distance as the Suez, which is, I don't know actually, 80 people doing 2,000 each, work it out.
We've got to stay essentially indoors. We can't wander around the upper deck because of the security state. So it's just a way of motivating the guys, giving them a target. But as you can see, it's good fun, it's working.
Come on, man. Push it out, come on.
Well, I don't know how much more we've got to do, but I think the ship might be winning just at the moment.
My time was 7 minutes 18 seconds, unfortunately. To turn beat 7:15, but hey, I'm getting old. I'm gonna go and die now.
The fleet have put danger behind them, clearing the Suez Canal and entering the Red Sea. And on Lusty's flight deck, those off duty are soaking up the sun, as others prepare to let off steam and party, military style.
Okay, come forward, take a step back, take a step back. Okay, where are my shock mats?
Fitness instructor Billy May has organised It's a Navy Knockout.
There's about 200 competitors and probably about another 400 people watching.
And after their fun, they'll want feeding. Below decks, that's the unenviable job of this man.
The wardroom's turn to put on a flight deck barbecue today. To that end, the wardroom, I've pushed out a number of jobs I need everybody in the wardroom to do to help set up. It's a big evolution, feed just under 800 people in 2 hours on the flight deck using a Barbie. Yeah, big job.
Fortunately, Lieutenant Barfoot's used to having a lot on his plate.
I'm Senior Fighter Controller. I'm also the Battle Watch Director. I'm an Officer of the Watch. I'm also a Divisional Officer. I'm the ship's Senior Boarding Officer. I am the Forecastle Part of Ship Officer. I'm the Electronic Chart Display Information Systems Officer. I'm the ship's Rugby Officer. I'm the ship's Band Officer. I'm also the Wardroom Social Secretary. And we always put it out to the wardroom votes. And I kind of won by a landslide, so I had to take that one on. Right, go aft to see how these barbecues are being set up, if they are at all. It's all right, it's all right. One of the concerns was that we had some of the flight deck damaged when the Spanish Harriers were on board last year, and they basically put 2 holes in the deck. At the moment, got a bit of time to spare, so I think I'm going to watch the flight deck crews and the rest of the ship's company in this It's a Knockout tournament. Some kind of sadistic enjoyment out of this.
On the flight deck, the fun's in full flow. Although the improvised bobbing apples are leaving a sour taste in Sid Little's mouth.
Yeah, it's not the best apple dunking because it's not apples and masking tape doesn't taste quite so good.
Yeah, massively organised chaos, but fun. Have you ever seen them smiling so much since we left from the UK wars?
I haven't got a clue what's going on, I've just come up.
Yeah, getting a few supplies. Ably assisted by Lee, the only officer to have turned up for this. So, surprise, surprise there.
Everybody's got a chance to have a shot at the title, to have a fight with Ewo on the slippery pole with a bit of water. At the moment, that's probably my favourite one.
Ewo Russell Billings is the reigning champion on the slippery pole. But there's no fair fighting today.
Do me fair, lads, go through the tiger in the pool, go, quickly, go.
And Ewo's not the only one taking an early bath.
Sorry, Mr. Clark. Tiger on the deck, unlucky. Sorry, sir, no animals on the flight deck.
We should have to do this more often.
Just a little bit behind time, but hopefully we can pick that up. I have every faith in my chefs.
But then Barfoot would say that, considering who his chefs are.
Our chefs are, never let it be said that too many cooks spoil the broth. Certainly in the top echelons, we have Commander WE, the Commander, Commander Logistics, Harry, who's Lieutenant Commander 814. All the ingredients for a disaster. No, joking. Don't say that, because I'll get the blame. Right, fingers crossed. Sirs, quantity control. I know Sirs obviously well on it here, but it's one sausage. One sausage. One sausage, one burger, one piece of chicken. Okay, they can help themselves obviously to baked potatoes and salads and stuff.
When does the barbecue start?
1800. The booze is due to come up at about 1800, funny enough.
today. It's a nice relaxing time for us. Yeah, nice unwind, yeah.
After a stressful couple of days, the barbecue's a welcome release. But although Lusty's crew can turn in after their tucker, for one person, the night's only just begun.
Join the Navy. See the world.
Lusty's crew are getting restless. They should have been sailing the Med by now, but training and technical problems have kept them in the UK.
You can see an area where something has marked the shaft. Any defect at all could be critical.
4 huge engines power this 22,000-ton aircraft carrier at speeds of up to 30 knots. The shafts connect the engines to the propellers, and they've got to be in perfect alignment, but one of them seems to have dropped and is rubbing on a bracket. Lusty's new captain, Steve Chick, is keen to test the problem shaft. Taking the ship to sea will show if the markings are the result of a serious problem. As Illustrious leaves port, the engineers keep a close eye on the dodgy shaft. They can't allow any defect to jeopardise the 14,000-mile deployment. Lusty will be joining a task group of 11 Navy ships, sailing through the Strait of Gibraltar, onto Malta, through the Suez Canal and into the Middle East and ending up in the Indian Ocean. But a few miles out of Portland, there's a problem.
Unfortunately, what we observed was some very loud screeching noises and some knocking noises coming from the starboard shaft. That's the right-hand shaft.
They've got no choice but to drop anchor. As one of the most senior marine engineers on the ship, Helen's got a lot on her shoulders.
The best case is that the team give us a completely clean bill of health and we resume all of our training package and our deployment as planned. The worst thing that can happen for me right now is that I'm required to go into an emergency dry docking, which then allows work on the external of the hull to be carried out.
The Navy are sticklers for punctuality, but the deployment's now 2 weeks behind schedule. And yet, it's not all doom and gloom. On 5 deck, there's something to cheer them up. The post's arrived.
The mail, particularly when we're away for a long time, is very important. It tends to be things like bags of sweets, just different little care items that just shows that someone's thinking of you at home.
Look what I've just received. My wife sent me some stuff in amongst my mail. This is my 3-month-old baby. Actual size. I'm so chuffed. Morale is good in the tailor world.
It's not as important as it was in the past because our internet connections and email are so good. But saying that, to actually receive physical items from home, it makes a real difference to people's morale.
And today, the mail's especially important. It's Valentine's Day. Sid Little's been hiding his heart-covered present.
So I've had absolutely none of the mickey taken out of me at all.
It's from his girlfriend in the New Zealand Navy.
Very nice underwear. Oh, cool. I'll try them on later.
One of the stewards, Rachel, has got a not-so-secret Valentine for someone on the ship.
Russell.
Thank you.
Oh, you've got red. That's really cute. I want one back, Russell.
Russell works as a chef with Rachel's twin brother, Shiner.
Russ got a bit of a soft spot for my sister, to be honest with you. But it's all right. I won't be happy with Rachel seeing one of my mates or anything, but she's sensible, isn't she? So, unlucky Russ.
In the lads' mess, Jason Farnsworth has given up on getting a Valentine card this year.
Here it is, the last remaining fart.
Oh, bless you.
Gonna have to go with it. Very pretty girl. Very pretty, it's a shame. All right, this is it. The last rip. That's it, gone. Last fart, gone. Basically, my other half, well, my ex-other half, she was in the Navy as well. So it was a bit difficult because I'm always away and stuff, so I just had to end things with her.
Yes.
Nah, it's all right. I've already got a bird lined up anyway.
I've already. He's saying all this now because she's going to be watching this.
No, I'm not. It's not that, honestly. It's her mum.
What,
so,
The truth is, right, and he is actually wounded because she binned him. But then again,
That's how it goes, isn't it, Jace? You can't have a relationship in the Navy.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, that's the way it goes.
Love is in the air for the rest of the ship, but in the engine room, the marine engineers have only one thing on their mind: fixing the broken shaft.
Basically, the bulkhead gland, which is this, the bit with the black brushes on behind me, is a gland that goes all the way round the shaft. Okay, that needs replacing. The shaft has dropped slightly and it leans on the bearing. So we've replaced that, so it's now working.
But there's no time to celebrate. Lust is heading straight for a naval exercise area off the Dorset coast.
Clearly now got the challenge of finishing off the last few days of training, getting our inspection out of the way, and then we head south.
A ship with 1,000-strong crew creates a lot of rubbish, and the guys who have to get rid of it are known as the gash team.
Oh, yeah, can I have a pipe for out all gash down to 6 November, please? All right, thank you.
Jason Farnsworth's got this unenviable task for the next 3 months.
This is where it starts getting good now. My family are going to be well proud of me. Yeah. I told them I drove a ship as well. Right, this is how you do it. I'll show you now. Very, very complicated. Basically, you just get bags like this, and you just whack them all out, and you get everyone's rubbish out like that.
The gash team's got to sift through 120 bags a day, 7 days a week.
That's all been sorted to the highest standard. Oh, nice magazine there, that can go down.
Half is incinerated on board, and the rest is stored to be recycled on land.
It all needs to be separated and burnt, doesn't it? Because otherwise, where else is it going to go? You can't exactly dump it in the sea, can you? Because that's not, like, good for the sea. This is my job for, like, 3 months, basically, because everyone has to do it. It's worth it, really, because, like, if you work gas, you get an extra £5 a day. So, like, just for doing this, you get an extra £5, which is, like, it's pretty good, really. Nah, that's sarcasm there, by the way. What a mint life.
When he's not sorting the gash, Jason works with weapons, but that's not why he joined the Navy.
I love playing football, and they did tell me when I joined up that I would be getting flown left, right and centre to play for the football team, so I kind of joined up for that. And so far, I've never been flown home, ever. And I've been taken off one of our 3-week deployments to play, and that's it.
But he's had an email from his coach, which might get him off gash duty.
I've been selected for the Navy football team, so I need to speak to my commander now and just see what he says about it and have a look at the dates and see whether the ship can get me away or not.
The match is one of the most important of the season. It's against the RAF. But it's only a few days away and back in Portsmouth.
How's things? Aye, not too bad, sir.
Is it football?
Yeah, it is. Got 2 fixtures for the Royal Navy Under-23s football team, and I was just wondering, is there any chance I'll be able to get off for it?
Let's have a look.
But Lusty's crew hasn't passed their final inspection, and right now, that's the priority.
If we inspect Tuesday, then it should be OK, I think.
Right.
If we don't, then I think we're going to have to say no, I'm afraid.
Right, OK, sir.
So it kind of puts a bit of extra pressure on us getting the inspection on Tuesday, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
That's no problem, yep. Cheers for that, sir.
OK, thanks, DT Farnsworth.
Thank you very much, sir. Cheers for that.
Cheers, thanks. See you later.
I reckon it went all right, really. If we do pass, then I reckon it would get me away. So let's big effort on Tuesday, eh?
It's the night before the ship's final inspection. Tomorrow, the Flag Officer C Training Team, or FOST, will be coming aboard. As well as testing battle readiness, FOST examiners will be making sure Lusty's shipshape. If she's not, she won't be allowed to deploy. So everyone, even young officers like Sid, gets stuck in.
Wouldn't normally come down and help cleaning, but everyone's busy, so just to lend a hand for tomorrow and get it all sorted.
The captain, second in command, Tim Johnston's checking everything's up to scratch.
I don't know where they get the energy from today, because they're cleaning like men and women possessed, but it's great. Yeah, it's not bad, you know, guys. This has come on leaps and bounds, really, in the last couple of weeks. So thanks for that. So just compare unpolished flat, and this is almost the standard we want for tomorrow. Almost.
The standards they want, they're just mad. You could clean this place for 2 days straight, and they could come in here and they could pull up someone's mattress or whatever and find a bit of dust underneath the mattress, and they'll just say, oh, the mess hasn't been cleaned properly.
A clean ship's a happy ship, supposedly. but morale is low. After last week's failure, they've had to go through another week of more training and more cleaning.
I've only been on board nearly 3 weeks, and it's been the longest 3 weeks of my life.
More drills, more exercises, more emergency stations, I think. More cleaning.
I know we've got to clean, it's part of our job to do what we're told, but if I could get out tomorrow, I would, because it's that bad, it's really that bad.
All really upbeat after today. Really looking forward to tomorrow. That final hurdle to get away and deploy.
If I'm not cleaning, I'm sleeping. If I'm not sleeping, I'm eating. If I'm not eating, I'm drinking.
There's quite a few down people, but it's mainly just tired and wanting to get it out of the way with now.
To clutch into the way a sailor thinks. If we crack it tomorrow, then we should get 3 nights in Malta, which everybody's keen to do. But as it eats further and further into the week, then the chance of getting to Malta reduces, because ultimately we have to get to the Suez on a certain day. So the incentive's there, the guys are up for it, so it should go pretty well.
Speaking, it's the final inspection at long last, and I know we've all been waiting for that.
It's the big day, and Tim Johnston rallies the ship's crew.
If you give me the enthusiasm you've shown over the last few weeks, we'll breeze through it, and it'll be good fun. And once we get finished, head south, and the aim to be in Malta for 3 nights. I think we've all deserved that. That is all.
The Flag Officer Sea training team arrives by Merlin helicopter. Their job, to pass judgment on Illustrious and whether her crew is fit to sail with her.
If we don't pass it, we don't deploy, but we will pass it and we will deploy.
I'll be really gutted if we fail today, so that means we've got to stay here again for another week and got to read it all again. And it's just going to be really depressing.
It's down to this man, the Rear Admiral, to make the final decision.
Clearly, we have to be confident that they're capable of coping with anything that might come their way. And at the end of the day, I'll make a decision whether they're ready to go or not. If they're not, they'll stay with me a bit longer. They've got to get past me first.
The crew will be dealing with realistic emergency situations scripted by the FOSS team. The first is a fire in the hangar.
The hangar being such a big space on the ship, if we can't put it out quickly, then there's big issues for the ship's safety.
Everyone's involved in keeping the ship and her crew safe in a crisis. Jason and the Gash team are on fire duty.
A bit hot, but that's to be expected, isn't it?
They're being watched and marked by the men in white.
All right, team leader, start advancing your team in, all right?
The realistic atmosphere is created with smoke machines and crew members acting as casualties.
Okay, let's get rid of him.
There's another emergency to heat on the pressure.
Cash ready.
The first aiders are put to the test.
It's all right, you'll be fine.
You're going to be fine.
It's Rachel's job to deal with it.
I know, you just trip or you run in or what?
Yeah, I was trying to get to the fire.
You're doing well though, well done. Sir, do you have a spare hand? We need a hand getting this casualty down to sick bay. Doing really well though, well done. It's just a small cut on your leg, it's nothing.
It's not, it's massive.
The FOSS team adds another scenario, a stricken boat with injured crew. It's got to be rescued and towed.
They feel comfortable. We've got a gunline party. They'll fire a soft-nosed projectile across the other vessel. We then connect that to a messenger line, so we just pass a slightly thicker line, which will be connected up on the other vessel.
The rescue's a success, but back aboard Illustrious, the casualty list's mounting.
Lacerations ahead, yeah? 16 casualties in total. Hopefully that's about it now, because the fire's been extinguished. We've got 2 casualties that need to be airlifted off the ship. They go into what's called a New Robinson stretcher, which is a stretcher designed to move people up and down ladders so that they're supported so they don't fall out the bottom, basically. It's not easy taking a stretcher up a flight of stairs when you've got it loaded with a strapping lad.
Ship's doctor, Commander Will Norris, has his work cut out for him.
As the only doctor on board, it's my responsibility to get around and see as many of these casualties as possible. We rely on fairly junior but well-trained personnel to carry out some very tricky and quite advanced first aid. Okay, and his respiratory rate?
It's dropped a bit, but it's fine.
There's also stage makeup, so it's as realistic as possible.
Get any other injuries at all?
No, sir.
No, sir. Happy with that?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, right.
As a day of intense examination draws to a close, the ship's company's desperate to find out if they've passed.
If we don't pass today, there'll be a lot of unhappy people, and I think everyone will just not give up, but I think for a few hours everyone will just give up.
I hope we passed anyway, because then I'm gone.
They gather in the hangar as the FOSS team prepares to leave. The waiting's over. Time for the result.
Well done, everyone, we've passed.
I'm really pleased. A great deal of effort's gone into the last few weeks. We're all much more confident. We know this platform, we know each other. We can now go forward on that. We're off shortly to go and get some fuel, and then we're off to Malta. Thank you very much for all you've done. Well done.
We've just found out that we can go to deployment now. Everyone's really excited about it. We're all dead happy, and we're like, oh, yay!
And Jason's wish has been granted. He gets to play football against the RAF. He'll be flying north to Portsmouth while his shipmates head south to Malta.
9 days off, playing football.
Down in the messes, the rest of the junior rates celebrate. It's fancy dress in the girls' mess.
We've got Tash here, who's our duty firefighter. Swampy is our helo, who will crash on deck. And here we've got Tash, who's our navigator for the day.
And a couple of beers for the boys.
Cheers for the end of FOSS. Hip hip.
Next morning, the deployment's finally underway. They're out of British waters. No more play acting. This is the real thing. To reach Malta, Lusty has to sail through the Strait of Gibraltar, otherwise known as Strog. It's the first choke point on the mission and the first potential danger zone.
We go through in a heightened security posture with upper deck guns armed and manned, such that if anyone was to try and do the ship harm at a vulnerable point of a choke point, then we could deal with it.
So guys wrapped up warm.
At a Strog briefing, leading seaman Mo Morrison's being told what to look out for. He's in charge of the gunners on the upper deck.
We're going through the Straits of Gibraltar from about 1300 onwards. Okay, this is also one of the areas where we get possibly a possible threat from smugglers who will be transiting with illicit goods or immigration. They'll be in normally small, fast-moving craft, so what we're having a good look out for are anything crossing. Threats that we could be looking at, as it says on the slide, just have a quick look, familiarise yourself with those. Any questions?
With such a thin strip of water and land close on both sides of the ship, most men have to be ready for anything.
There's a threat out there from terrorists, basically, and we're just getting all the crews armed up with rifles and ammunition for their weapons.
In October 2000, the American destroyer USS Cole was attacked by terrorists. In Yemen, Al-Qaeda suicide bombers in a small motorboat blasted a hole in her side, killing 17 crew and injuring 39.
It's focused our attention very clearly on that threat, and that, you know, that is a threat that materialised for real. So the risk is there, and that's hence why we take these precautions.
As one of the UK's flagship aircraft carriers, HMS Illustrious has to take the threat seriously. If anything's going to happen in the Med, it's going to happen here. Mo hands out the weapons. For some of these lads, it's the first time they've handled live ammo in a potentially hostile situation.
With a magazine of 25 rounds, load. Just leave it out, mate, leave it out.
25 rounds. Load.
suppose some of the lads who've never done it before are probably a little bit nervous or whatever. But yeah, it'll be okay. Nothing will happen.
Ollie Stocker's ready for an attack.
A Kevlar jacket. It's just got a big lead plate in there just to protect, main organs really if I get shot.
But it's not the terrorist threat that's bothering Ollie.
It's raining, windy, wet, and it's boring really. I thought it was meant to be hot and sunny when I come down here, but I was wrong.
It's down to Mo to keep spirits up and make sure his team's alert.
Happy Chuckles? Good lad.
He's one of the crew who's seen action before.
You know when they invaded Iraq? I was an aimer then, I was on one of the 20 mils. And this Dow come at us, so we just stood two. And they said, stand by to engage the Dow with the 20 mil. But for whatever reason, they decided not to engage it with 20 mil because they thought it was a suicide bomber and it might explode next to the ship. So the ship just basically ran away and they sent the helo up and the helo engaged it with 50 cal. But they missed.
If you're not nervous by now, you fucking should be. We've got to be fucking focused today. Right, this is an inter-service game.
Back in the UK, the pressure's on for Jason and the Navy footballers.
Just means a lot to the forces because obviously you get a bit of banter between them all, so we want to win.
Their coach has assessed the RAF opposition.
Their keeper is absolutely shite. But the game will not happen by accident today, guys. All right? It will only happen with hard work and endeavour. On your feet then, guys.
Warrant Officer Steve Ruld takes his football coaching very seriously.
Sport is a big part of Royal Naval life, as it is with all three services. These guys go away for 6-month deployments, sometimes fighting, always representing their country. This is the other side of the Navy. This is where they have a release. They get to play football, which they love, and they also get to represent the Navy, which they love.
And it's a 2-0 win to the Navy. There's just time for Jason to get a last supper in Portsmouth before returning to Lusty and his gas duties.
Yeah, thank you very much, that's super. While you're watching on ship, lads, this is a medium rare rump steak with a salad. Nice, very nice.
Illustrious has made it through the Strait of Gibraltar and now she's sailing the Med. This is the reason many young sailors joined the Navy, to see the world. And Malta's the next stop. They're planning to arrive in style, and it'll be the first outing for the ship's band.
OK, that's the notes-ish. Let's go from the top again. 1, 2.
Although Daryl Powell runs the post office, his main role on board the ship is managing and conducting the band, and he's got his work cut out.
One of the hardest tasks about running the volunteer band is actually getting people to rehearsals because people work watch systems. So the last few weeks we've had sort of maximum of 4 or 5 at each rehearsal and not the same people every night. So everybody has pretty much seen the dots but not played them with each other.
Anyone who can play an instrument's eligible to join. On trombone is Jason's boss, Commander Peter Coulson.
It's great being in the band, really, because it's just a nice form of relaxation. It's all ranks and rates, so everyone just gets together. It's a great leveller. Play music for an evening. It's really good fun.
Excellent. Put that one to one side. That one's done, that one's done. Are we playing Heart of Oak? Yes, we are doing Heart of Oak. In fact, we'll do that now. Heart of Oak.
Heart of Oak is a tune that everybody knows on board. It's a traditional song. Every parade that the Royal Navy does will include that when they march past, so it's really important that we get that right.
All over the ship, they're rehearsing for Malta.
The captain's going to go like this. Here I'm very, very glad to present to you this token of our esteem.
For the ceremonial guard, it's the first time they've got together to practice.
Guard! Slow! Arms! 2, 3, 2, 3. Together, people, get it together. Guard! Shoulder! Arms! 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Abysmal. Nice voices, however, your timings were way off. All right, guard, slow, arms, 2, 3, 2, 3. Who was that?
And there's a unique form of punishment for those who can't quite keep in time.
Go.
Sorry, I'm a lorry. Beep, I'm a G.
Good, happy days.
There's a bit of kit they've not been issued with till now. A bayonet.
Right, and Marines use this when they've run out of ammunition in their magazines to kill people. These are not toys. If I see anyone pointing this at someone, I'm going to flash. If you stab somebody with this, it hurts. Right, back into your square. We'll practice it with bayonets fitted. Pet hate of mine is somebody going, tss, 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 tss. It's all in your head. Right, guard, slow, arms. You did, didn't you?
What?
You were doing something, weren't you? Going, or 2, 3 or something in saying it. I heard it. Because you started smiling as soon as you did it.
I'm just so happy, I just smile.
You said it, didn't you? Don't lie to me. I know you did.
I did,
Yeah, I know you did. You know what to say, don't you? 3, 2, 1.
Sorry, I'm a lorry. Beep, I'm a J.
Good. Guard, shoulder, arms. Good, happy days. Guard, this, missed. Right, lay him over there, people. See you at 1:45.
In the ship's bank, Cash Officer Glenn Miller's got an influx of customers wanting spending money for Malta.
250, 300, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Cheers. So far, we've got rid of about 75,000 euros, so it's just over 50,000 pounds worth. No doubt, come tomorrow, once they've all been out and spent all their money, they'll be back for more.
Right, this is the main safe that holds the bulk of the money. We've got £5,000. Each one of these little bundles is 1,000. About £50,000 worth of dollars, which we use as emergency money. Obviously, dollars is one of the main currencies that can be used around the world.
Do I ever get asked for loans? Even the captain wouldn't get a loan. I've had a couple of potential stick-ups, although it was because of the name tally, so I told him to go away.
Right, rifle on your chest.
Back in the hangar, Mo Morrison swapped guns for batons as he gets the guards for the gangplank ready. They'll be Lusty's first line of security when she docks in Malta.
Back! And again. It used to be, at one stage, you'd only have a rifle on the gangway. But I think the Navy's realised that some situations, a rifle's too much. It's lethal force, basically, straight away.
Adopt defensive stance! Back!
So only about 4 or 5 years ago, they brought in a baton. So I don't know, if someone's coming at you with a, I don't know, with a baseball bat or whatever, you don't have to shoot them. You can defend yourself with a baton, basically. Happy days.
Good morning, Illustrious. Tactical Communications Operator on the bridge with a morning sit rep. The ship is currently 30 miles away from Malta. It's a beautiful morning, flat calm sea and light airs. Ship's company are reminded, rig for Procedure Alpha will be 1 Bravo. That's the morning sit rep. That's all.
We're going into Malta today, so there'll be a Procedure A, which is where everyone goes up to the flight deck in the #1 uniforms, and cannons are fired, and people salute, and the band's there, and the guard's there, and we're going to wear our #1 uniforms, which is all this sort of stuff. And the girls and the blokes have exactly the same uniforms. And you've got your white front, your collar, your jacket, your lanyard and your silk, and all these have different meanings to them. The silk, that was used when the old school days, when you had the big wooden ships. The sailors used to just have a piece of silk over the shoulder or around the necks, and they used to wipe their hands on it. The lanyard was used to fire the cannons with. Just cut it off and put it on as a bit of the wick and light it, and it's used for the cannons.
Sure.
The blue collar, people have said that if you touch a sailor's blue collar, it brings you good luck, so we wear those, and that just goes underneath your jacket.
Mo's job today is to get everyone on the flight deck correctly positioned for the grand entrance. Easier said than done.
Listen in! Junior 8s! Ho! Boiler left! Quick! March!
Turn round to your left, mate.
Able rates, the lowest rank, are positioned around the deck.
First one here. It's just a bit of a kerfuffle at the moment, trying to get everyone falling in the right places. But we get there. Push down! Look to your left, please. Cheers, mate, thank you.
But there's a problem.
No more people, sir.
The rigging's been round, chased everybody out.
Affirmative, sir, so have I.
They think that some people might have tried to avoid this by basically hiding around the ship or, you know, staying in their pits or whatever, but I think the regulating staff have gone round and thrown everyone out the mess decks.
Is that actually the entire ship's company up?
Yes, sir, that's the hangar now clear. That's the whole ship's company, sir.
As there aren't enough people to go around the deck, Mo needs to do some serious rearranging.
From me onwards, you're going to dismiss, then you go to the aft end and fall in on the aft end of the flight deck. Happy?
They don't want to stand here for an hour and a half, basically.
Ho! Dismissed! Turn to your right, this way. And just fall in, one marching pace between you, yeah? All the way down to the end. Push down, fellas. Push down. Push. Sorted.
The band performs in public for the very first time. And the ceremonial guard put what they've learned into practice. Illustrious makes her way into Valletta Harbour just as she did 67 years ago. And the locals flock to the port to welcome Illustrious back to the island.
It's been quite a proud day, actually, because we've worked really hard over the last few weeks. We've spent a lot of time at sea. We've had a lot of training. It's been hard work, but we're finally here, so it's great.
Went pretty well, I think. Bit of a kerfuffle at the start, but everyone's in the right place, looking quite smart at the moment. So I think it went all right.
It was good. It was a bit boring, but no, it was good.
After 4 weeks at sea, Illustrious and her company have finally reached dry land. But the first thing off the ship is a delivery for the Maltese Army.
We're delivering 6 ex-British Army trucks to the Maltese that they bought in the UK, you know, making a bit of an occasion for it, saying, you know, here's Lusty back in Valletta, and this time we're trying to help out the Maltese, whereas the previous Illustrious was, of course, helped by the Maltese a tremendous amount.
Most of the crew's getting shore leave tonight, a chance to get out of uniform and into civvies.
Today is the day we've been waiting for. It's just very exciting. Get to wear normal clothes and be like normal people. Oh, but makeup on, hair straighteners, jewellery. Ready!
Time to enjoy the pleasures of Malta. There's a main street for clubs, and that's where everyone's headed, from the junior rates to the most senior commanders. Even the Commodore, Tom Cunningham, and the ship's chaplain. The locals have made T-shirts to welcome them.
It's got HMS Edinburgh written on the back, you buffoon!
And some of the girls from the ship have come prepared. Everyone's up for a laugh. Though some may regret it tomorrow.
I've had a few beverages and I took on a dare, which includes getting my willy piss, and I've had it done. You try to outbeat everyone, and I feel this one is a victory for me, in some ways.
They've worked hard, and now it's time to party hard. Next morning, the senior officers are back on duty. They're on their way to a remembrance ceremony, and the Maltese have laid on a traditional mode of transport.
We're missing the gondolier. Where's he gone?
We're going over to put a wreath on the World War II War Memorial in Sanglia. And the War Memorial commemorates all the people who died in the bombing. It's a serious ceremony just to mark us being here.
On the way, they meet up with some of Lusty's crew, who are doing community work for the town.
Oh, well, we just started painting the railings all the way around. Wow. Just have sandwich and crack on.
Sandwich? It looks like a lunch sandwich.
Like a day's meal. It's quite often that when we go into a foreign port, we'll do some charity work or community work just to engage with the local community and put the Royal Navy in the public eye. And they're doing a good job by the looks of things and being well looked after by their hosts as well, judging by the size of the sandwiches.
The ceremony is taking place outside Sanglia Cathedral.
At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
You know, every time we come to places like this, we see what our forebears have done. It actually teaches our people and should demonstrate to them actually what we might need to do in the future.
It's Illustrious's last day in Malta, and the ship's company's preparing for a cocktail party, officially called a civic reception. The stewards, led by Aggie Weston, are setting up the bar.
Don't forget, don't get mullered this afternoon, or stand by if you are.
Tonight, Lusty's a floating embassy, and her crew are ambassadors for the UK.
It's all to bring on all the dignitaries from the areas, the mayors, people like that. Get them on board and then they invite them for a drink, a couple of nibbles, and we take from there, really.
But some of the stewards are still recovering from last night's excesses.
I didn't sleep.
He didn't sleep, he came in.
I went round the clock, mate. I didn't sleep.
We came from strip clubbing, straight to work. Mate, and straight to work. Yeah.
In the galley, chefs busy making canapes.
Well, we've got 600 people we catering for, so it's a hell of a lot of stuff. I mean, taking into consideration cocktail parties designed for them to just chat and nibble, really, so you're not exactly supposed to provide them with a mega meal, but variety, I think, is key. I think on the list of things to do, we must have had about 15 to 20 different items. By the time we get finished, we're just too knackered to go ashore. 3 days in Malta, and you spend most of it working. Life in a blue one, apparently.
For this event, the young officers, like Sid, need to look the part.
All the clothes that we get ironed for us to varying standards by the laundryman, so it's normally worth giving it a quick going over. And as we've got the official reception tonight, you always make a bit more effort than normal. The cummerbunds that we wear with this uniform, it's a double-sided one, normally with the ship's crest on one side, and then we have the Maltese cross on the other side because of our links with Malta. Normally we wear it the green side out, and then the Maltese cross comes out on Sundays, just as a change. A little peculiarity to a ship, so as we're in Malta, we're going with the Maltese side out this evening.
At 1900 sharp, the guests start arriving. They're the cream of Maltese society. Local dignitaries, socialites and war veterans. It's Executive Officer Tim Johnston's job to greet every guest.
Hello, Tim Johnston, I'm the commander. Nice to see you.
And it's down to the young officers to mingle. But it's not mingling as we know it.
For the cocktail party, I'm a hooker, which means standing on the gangway and greeting the guests as they come on board, and turning through to the captain and the commodore, and get them a drink and then introduce them to people, and then keep going around doing laps.
Trick is to get them in, get them a drink and get rid of them.
They're called hookers, and we're called the hangers, and they hang people to us, and we chat to them, talk to them, make them feel welcome, and it's all part of warming the party so they can come and enjoy themselves.
Good evening, how are you?
The commander's keen to make sure we don't get the wrong idea about his young officers.
As a slang term, people may call them hookers because they're basically hooking and moving them along the queue. But I wouldn't want that taken out of context.
For the next hour and a half, they make polite conversation.
It's just a common naval problem, 2 drinks, 1 hour.
Yeah, I have a drink problem.
Men and women all wear the same uniform, even at cocktail parties.
I don't miss the dressing up bit on board. At work, you're not a woman, you're an officer. Although I am dressed like a man, I dress like a man that I hope looks elegant with it. I'm so proud to do the job that I'm doing. I love the fact that I've got 2.5 stripes on my shoulder, and I'm the only female here that's got 2.5 stripes on my shoulder.
To finish off the evening, Captain Chick takes to the stage to pay tribute to the Maltese cities struck by bombs intended for Illustrious.
Here today, I would like to recognise the suffering endured by the 3 cities, Vittoriosa, Sanglia and Cospicua. I will now present each of the cities with a symbolic coast horn, which together mirror the ship's badge and that worn by our predecessor.
The ceremony is a reminder of the potential danger of Navy life.
A lot of guys that were here during the war could well have been the same age as us or younger, and they lost their lives in that war, and obviously that's quite prevalent for us, and especially since we're going out to the Middle East. It is a conflict area, and as a strike carrier, there's a very real chance that we could get involved in something like that.
It's the end of 3 successful days in Malta, and with diplomatic duties over, Lusty says goodbye to her guests.
Put that in your scrapbook.
Next time on Warship, the crew faces their biggest challenge yet, transiting Suez.
If someone's shooting at you and you can see muzzle flashes coming towards you, then you can shoot back.
And it's high alert when a crew member goes missing.
Worst case scenario, they might have gone over the side at some point in the night.